Good morning.
Maurice,
What's that?
is that you?
That's me.
That look okay?
Yep, looks great.
Okay. Are you still on vacation?
I am.
Okay. Anywhere fun?
Kansas City.
Oh, nice.
Okay, I'm gonna try to log off. It should make you the host, and I'll make sure the YouTube stream is going.
Okay.
If it messes up in any way, I'll come right back on.
Okay.
Good morning, Carol.
Good morning, Liz.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
Are you so excited about the weather this week?
Oh, yes,
I know you love it hot.
I do. Uh,
It's crazy. I was saying that it's been so cold lately. I'm
oh,
like, are we ever going to get to summer?
and boing it here it is. Just hope it lasts. So who's taking Maurice's place?
Kyle this morning.
Okay.
Kyle Reese.
Do we have any withdrawals, postponements, or anything requested?
Yeah, we'll have one postponement this morning. At Nelson Avenue, they're working on their land bank lot transfer. So it's
That'll be their third postponement.
yeah. Right. I want to say one of them had to do with design review though.
Okay.
Uh-oh, somebody's asking if the sound is on. Yes, the audio is on.
Kids are good?
Yeah. They're done with school next week.
What?
I know. I know. And they don't even have a full week. You'd think that they would keep them in as long as possible.
You'd think, but
After this year and everything. So yeah. That'll be fun to try to, we always figure it out though. It always works itself out.
I'm sure. What'll they do this summer?
Yeah, we have a teacher friend that takes them for a couple of days, and then there's my oldest has a friend who he has a like a day, I guess it's kind of like a babysitter. That's the word I'm looking for. So he was just invited to come over on those days too. So it's going to work itself out. They're not doing camps or anything. They're not
Oh.
interested in any. They'll have one day camp, a soccer camp.
Oh, okay.
So and that's like 1 week in July, I think.
Now, Miss Faith will not be here today, right?
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Okay, then I'll have to read.
Yeah, as long as you're okay with that.
Okay. Are we expecting all the other members?
Yep, I haven't heard anything otherwise.
Okay.
Let me double check my email. Oh, somebody wants the link. Excuse me for a moment.
Sure.
Morning.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
I see Tim is on.
Mm-hmm.
Hear me?
We can hear a little bit.
Oh, okay. It's not loud enough.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, you're loud and clear now.
Good. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I don't see Mr. Reese on here yet.
I don't see Miss Wagner on here yet.
I'm here.
Wagner's just came on.
Okay, good. Morning.
I'm on the phone because I'm home with my new dog.
What do you have? What kind of dog?
He's an Australian Shepherd mix.
Wow.
He's really sweet.
Beautiful.
He's driving me crazy, though. I
Uh-oh.
mean, well, my old dog was 13 and a half and, calm, and we did everything the way we wanted to, and this one's like a ball of energy. So I'm taking the rest of the day off after this meeting to take him to daycare, because that's what he
Uh-oh.
needs. So,
Come on, Kyle. It's
Kyle on?
9:29.
I'm here.
We need
is
to
he
see your
running the
face.
meeting?
There
There
he is. Good morning, Kyle.
Good morning. Wait, did the thing go away? Can you still see the screen?
Oh, yeah, we can, no, we can't see it.
No,
Okay. See, that was what I was worried about.
no, all I got is Marlene's with us, Kelly's with us. And Tim is with us, okay.
What the heck happened?
It's 9:30, Carl.
Having some technical issues. So we get to see either your face or the screen, huh, Kyle?
That appears to be the case.
I vote for the screen.
Sure you do, Tim.
Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Calling the meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals to order on this Monday, May 17th, 2021. Mrs. Kukla, read the preamble, please.
Thank you. Kyle, I don't know if you can make it a little bit bigger. I can't see the whole thing.
Sorry, that's the full screen.
So there's usually more to the preamble. I don't have it memorized.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on here. Apologize, I'm having a bit of a problem here.
That's all right. I could read whatever you got also if you want to put it back up.
I'm trying. That work?
Yes, if you can keep that box up. Okay, my name's Liz Kukla. I'm the Secretary of the Board of Zoning Appeals. I'm going to read the preamble this morning. In compliance with notification requirements of Ohio's open meeting law under COVID-19 emergency declaration, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the City Planning Department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting have the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found on the right-hand side of your screen in the participants panel. And for those call-in users, please use *6 to unmute yourself when you wish to speak, and then mute yourself again. Next screen, Kyle. All meeting activity is being recorded via the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed via YouTube for your public view. We have provided a link to the meeting for those who wish to speak on a particular case via our website and email. We've also received emails from those who have provided written comments on a particular matter. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Do a roll call, please.
Sure. We do not have Ms. Vaith this
Captain
morning.
Pike, one of the things that I found in
Please
life,
mute
people
yourself.
are often resistant to change. Sometimes even when you
Everybody,
move
please
from
mute
bad
yourself.
to better, there's institutional change in that process. Talk about that and the crisis intervention team as a crisis.
Great. So we don't have Ms. Faith this morning. We have Ms. Britt. Ms. Barnes,
Citizens in the city of Cleveland. I think there are a couple of questions there, but
Mr. Donovan,
I just want to go back to
Here.
Mr. Colvin.
Ms. Johnson.
Here.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum. Also, to everyone here today, we have 4 members present. You have the right to postpone today in order to have the hearing when we have a full complement of board members. If there is a tie vote today, your case is denied. Back to you,
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Thank you very much.
Any postponements?
Not yet, but there
Next.
will be one. Do you want to do it now, Liz?
Sure. There it is. Okay. So, Madam Chair, calendar number 21-34, 9322 Nelson Avenue. They're requesting a third postponement as they work through the land bank, lot process. If you remember, I believe they have a parking lot that may actually solve some of their parking issues that is proposed for those land bank lots. I think we should probably give them more than a month, maybe 2 months, and that would be July 19th.
Without objection, board?
Without objection.
Without objection.
Without objection.
Thank you. Without objection. Okay, so moving right along. Start with calendar 21-064 at 2500 Montclair Avenue, a public works invoice W070101056766. David Ream, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, hold on a minute now. Do we need the history, Mrs. Kukla?
No history for this. It is a violation notice.
Should I swear people in?
Oh, yes, please, Tim, I'm sorry.
Everyone for this case who's about to testify, kindly raise your right hand. I'm going to read a statement. Afterwards, your responses, I do.
Somebody has their microphone on and we need it to be muted.
Mr. Donovan, it sounds like you have a radio on or a TV on in the background.
All right, I'm back.
Okay,
Everyone for this case, kindly raise your right hand. I'm going to read a statement. The response I'm looking for is I do with your name. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Name?
David Reed.
Any others?
I do.
I do.
Natasha Brewster.
Ariel Kolk.
All right. Anyone else?
I do, Commissioner Stevens.
All right. Anyone else? Hearing none, we move to history.
okay.
I
now
do,
we can-
Natasha Brewster. I don't know if y'all hear me.
Oh, so you want to testify as well
Yes,
for this case?
yes.
Okay. Anyone else? Last call. On the history.
Thank you. No, we need Ms. Wagner for the legal standard.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Appellant is appealing an administrative decision. The standard of review to be applied is whether the administrative decision was illegal, arbitrary, capricious, unreasonable, or unsupported by the preponderance of substantial, reliable, and probative evidence. If the appellant fails to meet this burden, the administrative decision must be affirmed.
Thank you very much. David Ream, you're the owner of this property?
Yes, I am.
Okay, what are your comments concerning the authority of the city?
Well, I maintain the property, and I ended up getting a bill in the mail from the city saying that they had a crew mow that lot there. When I had just done that approximately 10 days before, and there was the statute which they or the chapter 209, I believe it is, that they specify why they did it is the overgrowth to 8 inches or taller. Well, I have never ever let that land get that way. There are other lots down the street from me that get that way pretty much all summer long, but I either once a week or once every 2 weeks, I take care of that property, as can be seen in the pictures that I have submitted here. Actually, I submitted photos from a video that I actually had shot on the day that, right there, those two photos on the video I had shot, which you can see the date on the top left corner is September 14th of 2019. And in the second photo, you can see the handle from my lawnmower right there. That is the date that I had mowed the property, was September 14th. Suppose the city crew apparently came out about a week later or about 12 days later, and that's what I got billed for. And now I have also, what I also have done, I've sent pictures, like say they're on May 2nd, where I had mowed the yard. I had let the yard go for the same amount of time, and as you can see in those photos, they're May 13th, and with the measuring tape, that grass is all of about 4 inches tall. So, and we had a lot of rain recently. We had a lot of rain over the last couple of weeks. That September, we didn't have that much rain. So there, in my opinion, or actually the way I stand on it, is that there was no need for the city crew to have been on my property to mow that yard, mow that property, and then to also bill me for it. There was no need for them to be there. I take care of my property. I'm very proud of my property. I don't let it get overgrown, never have. So there was no need, no reason for them to have ever been there. I don't know why they were there. I just, like I said, ended up, the reason why I even noticed that anything had happened is because I had planted a small maple sapling in that lot. And the one day I happened to look over there and realized I didn't see it anymore. And I went over and to take a look at it. I was sitting on my front porch, and I went over to take a look at it, and it wasn't there. They had mowed it over, and that's when I realized something had happened. And then then a few days later or a week later or whatever, that's when the invoice showed up in my mailbox.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate the pictures too. They're excellent. There have been others that have been sworn in. There was
Natasha Brewster.
I'm sorry?
Natasha Brewster.
Okay, and your comments, Natasha?
Okay, I'm from the protest department, which the original protest came in on January 9th, and he said that he maintained his own property, and he was supposed to submit a contract or a maintenance schedule, which he did not. He asked for a hearing, and the hearing was set for April 14th, 2021, which he did a no-show for the hearing. So I never received any of these pictures or anything that he submitted today as far as that date stating that he maintained that property. He never sent anything in nor came to the hearing that he requested from me. So this is my first time ever seeing any pictures or anything submitted for this property.
David, had you ever contacted the city department, Public Works?
I applied, or on the back side of the invoice, or I did file an appeal. I did file an appeal because actually I've gotten billed twice for this lot from the city, twice. And I have appealed both of them. One of them, the the city responded with a letter saying that there was a billing error or mix-up, some sort of billing error, so they tossed the invoice out. But then I end up hearing that I still owe for the other invoice, and to which again I appealed. Now, I do apologize. I had thought I had put the hearing on my calendar, and that is why I unfortunately missed that hearing. So that is why when I got the letter from the zoning appeals board, I contacted them because frankly, I didn't know that I could have sent in these pictures to the other department, because I would have sent that the pictures from the video a long time ago. I just
That's the
filled
box
out.
that you checked.
Madam Chair, this is Lori Wagner. Could I make a statement here?
Yes.
The purpose of the board is to find whether the commissioner's decision was arbitrary and unreasonable. Since this gentleman did not show up for his hearing, the board can't make a finding that it was unreasonable. The remedy, I think, here is to send this back and allow him to meet with the building and housing and let them see the pictures and make a decision.
I think you're absolutely right, Lori.
Yeah,
Which
thank
I'd
you,
be
Lori.
happy to produce.
I was gonna ask for you to chime in on this because I was feeling like we were going in a different direction here. So thank you.
David?
Well, Madam Chair, if I could, we do have a letter from Ms. Brewster, I believe, stating that the case was denied. So there is a decision on it. I guess if Ms. Brewster could speak to.
Madam Chair, it was denied because he didn't show up. I mean, you can't use the Board of Zoning Appeals as a substitute for the other procedure. I mean, we don't want to encourage everybody to skip their administrative hearings and then come right here and say, tell the board what they should have told the hearing officer. So once again, I think this needs to be sent back for hearing.
Okay, we have Commissioner Diedrich, I believe, who was sworn in. Commissioner, are you with us?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry, I had to get off of mute. But I would defer to the appeals department for this particular one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Was there somebody else sworn in?
Madam Chair, I think our legal counsel gives us very steadfast advice on this one. I'd like to take her suggestion, make it a motion that we would send this back to the appeals process to give the applicant and the city department some time to rule on this particular case and see whether that ruling then becomes subject to a request from zoning.
Okay, thank you, Tim. Make that
Yes,
motion.
I second.
Okay, good. Call the roll, Liz.
So, Madam Chair, is this a postponement or is this a dismissal?
Just
It's a postponement.
till after,
Whatever, if they find in favor of the appellant, then he'll drop the case.
right.
Okay, so it
Say
is,
it's a postponement, yeah.
okay, Madam Chair, do you still want me to call the roll?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Ms. Barnes?
Yes.
Ms. Britt?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Donovan?
Yes,
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Now, which date would you like? We could put them
ask
on,
appeals when they can get to the case.
okay. To Ms. Brewster, would you give us a date?
Natasha?
Can I get back with you later on today?
Well, not if we want to give it a postponement date, you can't, no. What's it take
Is
usually,
it-
3 weeks, 2 weeks to get in line there? Because we're gonna put our date after your hearing. We want to know when your hearing would take place.
Okay, can I
Is
give
30
you a
days
date
enough
later
time?
on today?
Is 30 days enough time though?
Yes.
Okay,
Make it 30 days from today.
okay.
That would be, Madam Chair, June 21st. We could do the 28th as well, just to be safe.
Okay, okay. Without objection, Barb?
Without objection.
Without objection.
Okay,
Calendar 21-64 has been postponed to June 28th, 2021, unless the applicant works out an agreement with the city, in which case he should contact us and withdraw.
Yep.
Thank you.
okay. David, you understand?
Yes.
Yes, will I get any, some kind of a information on how to reach out to you to let you know what happens?
Do you have that letter from Natasha Brewster? I'm sure she has her number on there.
Yes, all my information is on that sheet.
Okay.
Madam Chair, and also when, I believe that he's asking who to contact at the Board of Zoning Appeals. If you were dealing with Cassandra Jones from the office,
Yes,
send
I
her
will.
an email. Send her an email. We definitely would need this in writing, so you could send her an email, and that would take care of it.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you all. Moving right along, calendar 21-065 at 2055 West 44th Street. B.R. Canez, owner, proposes to erect a two-story single-family home with 2 concrete parking spaces for a future garage in a B1 two-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the following sections of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances that are listed in the agenda in the public record.
Everyone for this case who's going to add testimony, please raise your right hand. I'm going to read the statement. Looking for a response of I do with your name. Do you affirm or pronounce that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. Gillian Hall.
Ben Trimble.
I do. Donna Gergonis.
Anyone else?
I do. Joel Elgrave.
Okay, anyone else? City?
I do. Kyle Reese.
All right, thank you, Kyle.
Okey-doke.
Last call. Hearing none, on to history.
Okey-dokey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is also this case should be heard in conjunction with calendar 21-066 regarding 2057 West 44th Street, as they were originally part of a lot that is in the process of being divided. So if we could read that into the record as well, if you don't mind, Madam Chair.
Not at all. Calendar 21-066 at 2057 West 44th Street. B.R. Canez, owner, proposes to construct a new two-story, 1,024 square foot single-family house with detached garage on a 2,543 square foot lot in a B1 two-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application from the following sections of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances is listed in the agenda and in the public record.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okey-doke.
So again, this is regarding 20-55 West 44th Street, as well as 20-57 West 44th Street. So I didn't find any records in the Building and Housing Records Room for either of the addresses. There are no variances on file. The zoning also remains the same for both addresses. And then in our Acela database, I did find that in 2013, a permit was issued to demolish a two-story frame single-family dwelling unit. And then that's for the address of 2055. And then for the address of 2057 and the Acela system, I found that in February of this year, an application was made to construct a single-family house pending the lot split. And that's all that I have, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. The legal standard will be judging the case on, please, Ms. Wagner.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Appellant is requesting area variances from the side yard, distance, and minimum lot width regulations of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you very much. Gillian, tell us what tell us exactly what you guys are going to try to do.
Okay, I will. Kyle, did you have the presentation packet?
Yes, I do.
Can you pull that up?
Yeah. What would you like?
I think we can start there. We've been working with OCI for the last several years on creating an AMI product type that we could build on the land bank lots that we had left over. We already built all of the market rate units. We've been working to come up with a product type for the affordability component. So that is this project here. So it's a little bit different than some of the other houses that we built. They're a little bit smaller. But this is one of the lots that we've had and had targeted for the AMI product type. So we would like to split it into 2 lots. And there is an old snap of a Sanborn map in the presentation packet that shows that it did actually used to be 2 lots with 2 homes on it. These houses will be rear loaded from the alley in the back. And we feel like they're very consistent with the lots in the area. The home to the north of 2055 is actually on the property line. So that is kind of creating the need for the variance that we're requesting, but we are actually 5 feet off of our property line. It's just very typical of what we're asking, the standard variances that we always ask for our new construction houses. This is just slightly different because we are working on it. It's a different product type than what you guys are used to seeing from us.
Okay, so I've got the first 2055 is just talking about a concrete parking pad, correct?
Well, there is an interior side yard that variance that we're asking for, and it's for the area for the interior side yard to the south, which is our second house, not to the north.
I'm trying to make this picture a little bit bigger so I can see it. Hold on a minute. I still can't read it. Okay.
So the interior side yard requirement is 3 feet, and we're proposing 1. You can see there's a bump out on both sides of our unit.
Yes. Okay.
And the bump out's encroaching on the interior side yard.
Okay, but you're not building the. Okay, fine. All right, so at 2057 West 44th is the house that, because boy, these lots, people are putting in all these little houses in, jamming them in. I don't know. Why was the reason? Because you found in the records that if their lot was split years ago?
Well, and it allows us an opportunity to build 2 affordable units. We feel it's a good location and that product fits 2 units there. And these units will be, and Ben will probably tell you more, these units will be held by the land trust.
I'd like to talk to Kyle. Kyle Reese, City of Cleveland Planning.
Yep. So we did have our internal meeting where we looked at this through HDRS and through and talked with the rest of the staff, the neighborhood planner. These were both approved by that committee, and the recommendation from city planning is that these variances be granted.
Thank you, Kyle. Okay, want to talk to Donna?
Hi, good morning, Madam Chair and members of the commission. Thanks for allowing us to always provide public comment. So as Gillian from Knez said, our organization has been working really hard for a while, a few years, to bring an affordable, high quality product into the market. So that's why you're seeing, sort of two smaller but comfortably sized homes that are on, small lots. We think it's a really great use of land, and specifically we'll be using this to build our first homes that will be held within the community land trust that is named the Near West Land Trust. So we're really proud about this work. So to put it into context for everyone, this is specifically targeting someone that's making 80% of the area median income. So that's a family of four making approximately $60,000 a year. And the intended sales price of the home is about $160,000, depending on the kind of subsidy we're able to get and the building costs. I know prices might change because lumber has gone up recently, but I know our organization is in support of the variances being requested today. And our organization has heard from the community countless times that they would like more affordable options in the near west side to help with the displacement of some of the residents that we've been seeing in the past year. And this is a high quality market or high quality 80% AMI home that we're creating. So, I know our organization's in support of it. And the Block Club is also, from what we know, did not have any negative comments. Everyone was supportive as well, but I will let the Block Club chair speak to that. So thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Good to see you again. Joel. Joel, are you with us? Hello, Joel.
Yep, sorry, I was having trouble getting it to unmute. So hi, I'm Joel Elvery. I'm the chair of the Fulton Lorraine Bailey Block Club. And so we found out about this last week, and I emailed it out to our list as well as flyering nearby houses so that we would make sure that the nearby houses had a chance to see the site plan and the elevation and all those things. And we heard no objections. I got no objections from that. And I got two of our Block Club members wrote to express their strong support for the project. Our Block Club has a long history of supporting affordable housing. We actually have a number, CHN has built a number of houses in our area. The Orchard Park houses at the corner of 41st and Bailey have an affordable component. And so we're really excited about, these additions to the affordable housing stock that's already in our neighborhood. The variances requested are really pretty minor. The most severe one is about the side yard space between the two buildings, but because that's between the two buildings, it's not like they're imposing that side yard problem that on the existing housing. So I feel like it's a very reasonable request and an exciting project.
Appreciate that, Joel. Thank you. Board, any questions? Comments? Did we get any letters in, Mrs. Kukla?
No, we have not received any letters.
Okay, then I will entertain a motion.
Excuse me, I have a question. Excuse me.
I think somebody's trying to ask a question.
Okay.
Excuse me,
Grace?
Yes, hi, thank you. I'm really unfamiliar with all the terms and everything, so bear with me. But on the one picture that you showed earlier, when you hire, It looks like the roof of the new structure is going to be overhanging my house. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, I could not hear her, and I've got
Okay,
my.
I'm sorry. It looks like in that one diagram you had that the roof of the new house will be overhanging my house. Is that correct? Did you hear me?
Gillian?
You're muted.
Unmute, Gil.
Can you hear me now?
I can
Yep.
hear you.
Okay, so we are 5 feet off of her property line, off of your property line, Grace. So we shouldn't have an over.
The picture earlier, the diagram earlier, it looked like it was like right over my roof. Am I right then?
You are right on the property line, but we are 5 feet off of your property line, so it shouldn't hang over your property line.
Okay, so it's not going to infringe on my property at all then?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Like I said, I'm totally unfamiliar with the terms and things that are in this letter received. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Ms.
welcome.
Hanna. Okay. If there are no other questions, I will entertain a motion.
Pure give the testimony and seems like full support from everyone around CDC, the Block Club, as well as city planning. I move that we approve the variances as requested for calendar numbers 21-065 and 21-066.
Second.
Call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yep.
Ms. Britt?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Calendars 21-65 and 21-66 are granted. They'll be ratified next week, and we will send you a letter.
Thank you all very much. Calendar 21-067 at 3740 Carnegie Avenue. 3740 Carnegie LLC owner proposes to erect a new 3-story, 45,000 square foot office addition and new paving to allow for a total of 394 total parking spaces in a C2 general retail business district and a D4 semi-industry district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application from the following sections of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as listed in our agenda and the public record. Timothy?
Everyone for this case that is going to testify, please raise your right hand. I'm going to make a statement. Afterwards, looking for a response of I do with your name. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Anyone for this case?
I do. Michael Fantz from AODK.
Kiddo, anyone else?
Greg, you are on mute.
Kyle Reese.
Kyle Reese, all right. Anyone else?
Yeah, Greg,
Last
I'm
call.
still. Yeah,
Okay.
hang on, sir. Greg is still trying to. Greg, you're still on mute. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there
Yep.
you go.
Okay. Greg Ernst with AODK.
All righty. Anyone else? Last call. On to history.
Okay. Thanks, Tim. Liz?
Hold on. I think we missed someone. Joyce, were you trying to chime in?
Yeah, I apologize. The last one, but I'm Joyce from town. I'm here to support the project.
Okay, well,
All right.
just say your name and ID, so we'll have you sworn in for it.
Right now, my name is Joyce Wong.
And say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
All right. Last call.
Okay. History of the property, please, Mrs. Cooper.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In the building and housing records, I found that in 1964, a permit was issued to construct a concrete foundation only. And the owner at that time was stated as National Dairy Products. There are no variances on file, and in the more recent history in our Acela system, in 1996, a permit was issued to demolish a building at this address. In 2006, a permit was issued to establish a parking lot for 122 spaces for used car sales, display, and customer parking. And then I see in 2007, a certificate of occupancy was issued stating that the permitted use of the property is as a parking lot for this address. And that's all that I have, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. The legal standard, Ms. Wagner?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Appellant is requesting area variances from the off-street parking and landscaping requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you very much. Michael Fent.
Yes.
Okay, I want to hear exactly what and where you're doing this.
Greg, Greg and I are both kind of sharing here.
Okay.
Greg, why don't you start her off?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we'll just go item by item here.
Yeah, so we're in front of you today for two variances. As mentioned previously, we're adding almost 50,000 square foot building, almost doubling the size of the building on this property. Obviously, there's an existing 3-story building, and they are consolidating. Minuteman is consolidating all of their properties into this one property to make a campus. And because of that, that's where the parking count has risen from. And so what we're here before you today for is there's an existing setback along Cedar Road, which is on the south side of the property. As you can see on top part of that screen there, that is for 10 yards or 30 feet. And as you can tell from this existing aerial, there is, I would say, 75% of the existing parking lot is already encroaching on that 30-foot setback. And so we are proposing 2 new parking lots, one on the upper left-hand side, which is the southeast, and one on the upper right-hand side, which is the southwest. And because of the we want to maintain the existing parking line that exists along that Cedar Avenue. Looking at the adjacent properties, almost all of their parking, from what we can tell, encroaches on that setback. So I'm not exactly sure what that setback was for. As mentioned previously, it looks like there was no zoning change since 1929. So the first variance that we are hoping to obtain is for a 30-foot variance setback against the Cedar Avenue there. So would you like me to go to the next point, or do you want to have a discussion on the first?
No, let's do them all and then we'll hit you.
Okay. Thanks. And then the other one has to do with the 6-foot landscape buffer along Cedar Avenue and Carnegie Avenue. Once again, as noted before, the parking lot for the most part is already up against the lot line on both the north and south properties along Carnegie and Cedar property lines. So we are proposing along Carnegie to extend the concrete retaining wall and wrought iron fence over to the west, where the new addition is going. The new addition in this aerial is going to the right-hand side, which will be west of the existing building. And we are extending that drive that runs along the front of the existing building across the front of the new building and putting a new apron, sliding that apron to the right a little bit or to the west. And that is now becoming the new main entrance for the headquarters. And so it's very important that we have some parking over there, including handicap parking, so that people would be able to have easy access. Visitors to the campus would be able to have easy access to the facility itself. And as mentioned, we're going to maintain that wrought iron and concrete retaining wall along Carnegie. On the south side where Cedar is, there is, as mentioned before, there's the parking already goes up to the parking or up to the property line, and we're just proposing to maintain that line. That's basically it. Mike, you want to add anything else?
No, I do, but I think you've just mentioned this, but just to reiterate for folks that don't know the project that well, with the screen that you're seeing right now, you're looking at the existing 3-story Minutemen building, and then the new building is going just to the right of that, which is to the west side, and it takes up that entire parking lot there. So, so that's why, number one, we're relocating parking that's already there, but also adding another 3-story building, and so incurring more staff and more parking requirements. And that's really the hardship that we have, is just trying to meet the parking needs of Minutemen, which is growing kind of internally, like the company just keeps growing, but also trying to consolidate their services that are right now kind of spread out a little bit. So they want one headquarters that that will be established at their current facility here, and to be able to have parking for all those folks there. And that's really what this is all about.
So you're parking right up until this, right up to the sidewalk. That's your intent?
Yeah, that's the way it is right now. I think if you go backwards to some of the earlier photos there, you'll see there's like a there's like a retaining wall there, with a decorative wrought iron fence there that separates. Yeah, there you go. You can kind of see it on the upper left. And there's also a bit of an elevation change between the parking area and the sidewalk itself. So that's basically, we're just maintaining that and just extending it a little bit further to the east.
To the
west. To the west,
Yeah.
sorry.
Board? Comments, questions, concerns?
Like to hear from the city.
Kyle?
Kyle Reese, City Planning. The recommendation from the Planning Department is to permit the parking up to 24 feet into the setback, but require the 6-foot landscaping buffer.
How does their idea of the concrete wall with the wrought iron fence, does that near your request, or is that so far off that we got to start from the scratch here?
Well, it's a little bit difficult. I do understand what they're saying. On the Carnegie side, there's that bit of an elevation change, but allowing parking right up to the sidewalk really isn't. It's not something that the department supports. So we'd like to see some effort to landscape between the parking and the sidewalk, the public right of way.
Michael or Greg?
I think that when we looked at this site plan,
Is this you, Michael?
Yeah, this is Michael.
Okay.
I think that there is an ability for us to get a little bit of landscaping there, but if we go the full 6-foot buffer there, we're not going to have room to have any parking in front of the building, which we really need. So maybe there is a compromise there by providing some landscape strip between the parking and that retaining wall there.
When you say little, what are you talking about? 4 foot?
I'm actually bringing up the drawing, and I'll get back to you on that just to see what we can accommodate. Another question I have, this is Greg with AODK, is regarding the existing parking lot. So when the city makes that comment, are we talking about ripping up what is essentially parking lot that we're not doing anything to be able to put that buffer in? Or is this only on areas affected by the work that we're doing now?
Well, it would be for the entire request of the permit. So whatever you're requesting in this permit is where we would be requesting that you meet that 6-foot, or it doesn't have to be necessarily 6 feet, but there needs to be some landscaping between the sidewalk and the parking, and that's that is a very common thing that we require for parking lots, especially ones that are this large, that have this much frontage along primary streets.
Are you saying they can leave the cement wall up though, and the wrought iron railing?
Yeah, I believe that that part of it looks good, when we would request that the rest of it look at least that nice.
Madam Chair, this is Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Madam Chair, if I could say one thing. It's my understanding that the concrete barrier is on Carnegie side, and the landscaping is required on the Cedar Avenue side.
We're not looking at the same.
Yeah.
Kyle, is that right?
Yeah, well, that looks like my understanding from it, because the Carnegie side is existing, so that's already there. So they're trying to do the same thing behind the building on Cedar. And so this is where the landscaping would be required, if I'm understanding this correct.
We don't have a picture of the other way around, do we? So we could see.
They have the aerial.
Well, so I guess my reading of the third variance here is that, and it was it's always been my understanding that a 6-foot landscaping buffer is required between any parking lot of this size and the public right of way. So I thought it was the 30-foot, or the setback was for the Cedar side, but that the landscaping applied to both frontages. Is that not correct?
This is Joyce Wong. May I jump in?
Sure.
From Midtown. So that's from what I recall from the design review advisory board meeting, that the setback is required on Cedar, and that there was a request for landscaping on Cedar, but that the Carnegie side, they were allowed to maintain what was existing and sort of extend that across the Carnegie frontage.
This is what I'm looking at now is the Carnegie side, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Do we have a picture of the back side, the Cedar side?
I believe the lower pictures are the Cedar.
The lower right? Oh.
Yeah, so there's a church that was demolished recently on the left side. You can see the dirt there, and then if you pan over to the east a little bit, that's essentially existing conditions right now along Cedar.
Okay, Joyce, you had something up on the screen.
Something that we discussed for design review was that they were willing to, the board was willing to maintain the retaining wall and fencing across Carnegie, but there was a request to add more street trees across the frontage, as I recall.
You met with Greg and Michael?
Yes, Madam Chair, that's Joyce from the CDC. So everyone was involved in that meeting about the setbacks and the landscape.
Yeah, that was one of the suggestions we had, because some of the tree wells along the sidewalk had either dead trees or were missing. And so in lieu of trying to push on the building side, we had suggested maybe adding a couple more trees along the sidewalk. And that, again, I'm not sure what was the final decision on that. That was just something we were hoping to use as a compromise.
Kyle, do you have any comments about the trees?
More trees are always appreciated, especially in the public right of way.
Maybe we could negotiate here. Michael or Greg?
Oh, we're very open to that. I mean, Minutemen had expressed that as well, and you can even see that in the upper left picture. There's a really good tree that's kind of off the screen to the left there, and then you could see there's one that's kind of right in the middle there that's not well, and actually most of them along the street there. I think there's only 2 or 3 that are in really good shape. So if we kind of used that spacing that's already there, and just kind of in knowing also that we're moving the driveway even further to the west there than what you're seeing in this picture, we could probably easily get 3 more trees just in this stretch of sidewalk alone here. And then there's also a little bit more to the east. So we're more than open to that. I think we all feel that would be a benefit to Carnegie and to Minutemen.
We would need to see a plan
Okay.
showing that. And,
Sure.
and where you're moving the driveway or how much you're moving that driveway too. Okay.
Yeah, the driveway is shown in the current plan. We just didn't show the new tree wells. You can see it in that. There you go.
Right.
So you can see the new drive now to the west, and you can see the 5 tree wells that are currently there, kind of depicted on the sidewalk, although a couple of those are not healthy trees, but those are the tree wells that are there. So we could actually just literally, if you took that spacing and just imagine that, just keep going to the west and then to the east, and just we would literally just fill that up between the two entries into the site. We would more than welcome that.
Okay, so we have street trees on the Carnegie side. We're actually here for the Cedar side though. So has there been a decision on you guys about adding some kind of landscaping between the sidewalk and your parking? I know someone was pulling it up to see how much you could get in there without losing your parking.
Yeah, I'm just a quick cursory review. It's looking like probably between 3 and 4 feet is something that we would be able to manage, because we're restriping the existing parking, and we are running islands down. If you can see the black kind of islands that are running at the ends of the fishbone parking striping, that is all going to be landscaped, running from Carnegie to Cedar. So we obviously have to maintain a pretty strict 20-foot, 24-foot aisle all the way down the road there. So between 3 and 4 feet is what we'd probably be able to accomplish on the Cedar side.
Okay, Kyle, can you agree to that?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Alrighty.
But we would need to have a plan submitted so that we can verify everything, including the plantings that you're going to do on the end cap or whatever you're calling it, the end of those parking spots.
Okay.
And also, if you can put 4 foot in, if you can somehow squeeze in 4 foot, make that a small car thing, or motorcycles, or bikes, whatever. So it wouldn't accommodate. Otherwise, how big are the spaces that you are striping?
Just 1 second, I'll pull that up.
Yeah, I think they're 9 by 18. And by the way, the current site plan does show all the landscaping. Yeah, we need to add what we talked about today, but all the islands show trees and landscaping. That was something that we were really trying to push, because the current parking lot hardly has any right now, and we wanted to make it nicer and more green and more consistent. All the fencing and paving and landscaping is all going to be new. So, but what we will do based on this meeting, if it's okay with the board here, is that we would then show the additional tree wells along Carnegie, as we talked about, and adding that 4-foot strip along Cedar, and showing what we would add there for landscape. And that would be our update from the plan that you're seeing today.
Yes. Okay, well, I don't know. Do we want to tentatively okay this till we see and not ratify the decision until we see the plan submitted? Board, this question is to my board.
Could it be a conditional approval?
Yeah, that's what
based on
I'm asking them.
Yeah, it's unusual for people to update their plan before ratification based on the suggestions made at the board here. So that's what I think we should do.
Okay, then I will entertain a motion to what we've agreed to today with no ratification until we have the new completed landscaping drawing.
Madam Chair, I'll do the motion. Given the testimony, support from Midtown CDC, as well as city planning after some land association, calendar number 21-067, noting that the appellant will submit a new plan showing the new street trees along the Carnegie side, as well as the new landscape buffer along the Cedar Avenue side.
Second.
Call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Barnes? Yes. Mr. Donovan?
Yep. Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Britt? Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Calendar 21-67 is granted conditionally pending that revised drawing. It'll be ratified after we receive that drawing.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate your help.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
Calendar 21-069 and 3592 West Boulevard. Laura DeMoss, owner, proposes to add a 312-foot linear feet of 6-foot high wood fence and gates in an A1 family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the following section of the codified ordinances that are listed in our agenda and in the public record.
Everyone for this case, kindly raise your right hand. I'm going to read a statement looking for a response of I do with your name. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Laura DeMoss.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Last call on history.
Okay, thank you, Tim. Mrs. Kukla?
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. I only found in the Building and Housing Records Room that in 1927, a permit was issued to erect a garage at this address. There are no variances on file. And in the more recent history in our Acela system, in 1998, a permit was issued to install approximately 240 linear feet of 6-foot high wooden fence. The condition on that permit was that the fence will be 10 feet away from the property line. And that's all that I have, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Ms. Wagner?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Appellant is requesting area variances from the side yard distance and minimum lot width regulations of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you very much, Ms. Wagner. Okay. I'd like to see okay. Are we just replacing that fence, Mr. Moss?
Yes, that's correct. I'm just asking to replace what's already there.
And it's 10 foot off the sidewalk. Is that what they said?
I don't believe that's 10 feet from the sidewalk. That's been there. So I've lived in this house 20 years and it's been there longer than I've been there. And as you can see, there's some bushes between the fence and the sidewalk, but I wouldn't say that's 10 feet.
No, I wouldn't either.
So I don't know where that number came from.
Madam Chair, that permit was issued in 1998 for a chain link fence.
Oh. But in your history, you also said something about a wooden fence.
I'm sorry, let me go back. I thought it was a chain link fence. Okay, it was, oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. It was a wooden fence with 10 feet away from the property line. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. But Kyle, I'm going to ask this question of you. If she's just putting it in the same place that it's already been there since whatever, how 1,000 years, can we grant that rather than having her move it to 10 foot? Because there's a couple of trees there.
Well, so the recommendation from city planning and speaking with Adam Davenport, who's the neighborhood planner for the area, and Callie Mersman, who is our bike and pedestrian coordinator, is that although the fence has been there for a long time, as the applicant stated, that this is at the end of its useful life, and it would be a better condition for pedestrians if the fence did meet the zoning requirements around the two driveways. So it does come up to the driveway, to the applicant's driveway here at 6 feet solid. And it's also pretty close to the corner of the driveway on the edge of the property. And it does create sightline conditions for people and little kids who might be riding their bike and doing whatever on the sidewalk. And so it would be a better, safer condition if this new fence created visibility lines to the sidewalk.
Do you understand that, Laura, what we're talking about?
I do, and I sent in pictures that I took from the sidewalk of how far up my driveway you could see. There, so you can see the picture in the top right. You can see almost all the way to my garage. If you see that big green bush just past the right side of the fence, my garage starts just past that. So you can see, and then from the other side of the sidewalk, you can see halfway up my driveway long before you're next to the driveway. And again, I've been driving in and out of that driveway for 20 years and never had a problem with pedestrians because I'm not, racing out of the driveway. I'm pulling back really slowly. And the few times I've had people on the sidewalk, they just pause and, make sure I see them, and it's not been a problem. So.
Well, the wall of wood, if we angled it off at the driveway there, I think we would all feel more comfortable. Because nowadays people seem to be riding more bikes and all, whether they're in the street or on the sidewalk, I don't know, but it's just, can we do that?
Well, I was also
I'm looking at the bottom left-hand picture.
The bottom left-hand picture is where it meets my neighbor on Linnet. That's their driveway, not my driveway.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so that their driveway angles. I'm not sure if you have the other picture I sent. There was another picture from the sidewalk coming the other direction where you could see up their driveway. Because it's angled. So that's the far corner of my property is what you're seeing in the bottom left corner. And that's not my driveway that you're seeing.
I got you. Thank you. Appreciate that update.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, this is Liz.
Yes, Liz.
They're still required to give the clearance on any place that the fence will intersect a driveway it meets at that corner where a driveway intersects with the sidewalk. They're still required to give that 15-foot clearance.
So she's got to do that for her neighbor too. How high is that wooden fence that's falling down? I see where you want to replace it.
Yeah, it's 6 feet high.
That's 6 feet high. Okay. Board, do we want to make her angle hers as well as the one that really affects the neighbor's driveway?
I'm confused at that. So we have to make her angle for someone else's driveway.
Yeah.
Can someone chime in and tell me why that? I don't understand why that is. I get it for her own driveway, but for someone else's, I don't know.
So the condition, whether it's the applicant's driveway or a neighbor's driveway, is that there are obstructions to the visibility from the driveway to the sidewalk, whether it's her driveway or the neighbor's. That's the unsafe condition that we're trying to remedy with the angling of the fence. So the fence could be dog-eared, where you kind of make it like a chamfered corner on the fence. The other option is to drop it down to 4 feet and 50% open around the driveways. That's another option.
Yeah, we've had the dog-eared suggestion before for people. That seems to be the easiest. I understand the sightline situation. I just think it's kind of weird because she has to accommodate for someone else's driveway, but it is on her property. So, Laura, are you understanding what Kyle just said you need to do for right there?
I don't understand what you mean by dog-eared.
So essentially, I think what I've seen the board do in the past is require that there be one of I think the panels are 6 or 8 feet long, and so that one of the panels creates like a chamfered corner instead of being at a 90-degree corner to the driveway. And basically, it would just be an angling back of the fence at that corner.
Okay, instead of angling and losing part of my property, part of the use of my property, can I just make it like partially open, like leave? Because it's not going to be fence panels that they're putting in. They're actually installing each piece of wood. So if they're installing each, I don't know what you call those pieces of wood. Can they just do like every other piece of wood so that it stays more open visibly? That way I still get full use of my property.
I like that idea.
I do too.
It's more of a shadow box treatment.
Yeah, yeah, like that. So I can still use my entire property, but it would be visibly open to see through that corner.
Exactly.
That works. I mean, normally people are using panels, so that's why we give them the angle option. But if you're okay with lowering the opacity of your fence, then I think we can work with that. Kyle?
Yeah, we would just need to see a diagram of what that fence is going to look like.
Okay. Mr. Riccardi just chatted that it has to be 75% open there in that corner. Will that help you, Mr. Moss?
Yeah, I think we can do that. I'll have to ask my fence guy to come up with a drawing or whatever.
Yeah, just a sketch.
Okay.
And Madam Chair, to Mr. Rees, would you still want the area to be 8 feet from her property line, 8 feet in from that property line?
Well, I'm looking at the top left-hand picture here. It's a nice size setback. I wouldn't change that.
This is Kyle Reese. Yeah, the if the fence is 50 to 75% open around the driveways, and the applicant can kind of give us a cut sheet of what that's going to look like, I think that would be acceptable.
Okay, good. I think we've come up with a reasonable solution. I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, given the testimony, move that we approve the variances as requested, noting that the appellant has agreed to requirements of 75% open at the driveway entrances so that there will be visibility for biking.
Second.
And we will ratify this decision after we have the
after we get the new drawing. Yes.
Right. Great. Thank you. Call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Barnes?
Barnes, yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yep.
Ms. Britt?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Calendar 21-69 is granted conditionally. Pending that new drawing, we will hold it until that drawing is received.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. DeMoss.
Thank you.
Okay, we have one more that 21-034 at 9322 Nelson. Do we have a request for postponement on this?
Yes, that's the one we announced at the beginning of the hearing, but we could announce the new date again. Calendar 21-34 has been postponed to July 19th to allow time for that the land bank process to work out. So that was postponed earlier in the hearing, Madam Chair.
Okay, call the roll.
Ms. Britt?
What are we voting on?
The postponement request.
Oh,
for Nelson Avenue. Okay.
Yes.
Ms. Barnes? Mr. Donovan?
Yep.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Calendar 21-34 is postponed to July 19th.
We have the Board of Appeals, our old business. I don't have any of them highlighted, Mrs.
Yes, we did not receive any of the requested items for Siam Avenue. So we have nothing to ratify today.
Well, aren't they just wonderful? Okay, okay.
And then also, Madam Chair, to everyone, just a reminder that Ms. Johnson will be out next Monday.
Yes.
So we will need to have a somebody.
Mr. Donovan is the lead. He's the vice chair. Or is
All
he
right.
vice? I can't remember which it is.
And Mr. Donovan, do you still have the script for that, or would you like me to send that again?
You can send it again.
Okay, I can do that. Will do.
And the following Monday, we won't work because it's Memorial Day.
Correct.
Right.
Oh, yes, we don't have quorum that day.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Fine.
And that's it.
I'll see
Thank
you
you.
all in 3.
All right. Enjoy your
Right.
time off.
Thank you all. Have
Yeah.
a blessed couple of weeks. Take care. Thanks, Tim.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.